I'm going to start the meditation session working with the eyes. We touched on this in the last session at the end. And just give a little bit of theory, just as we're waiting for some more people to log in before we just jump right in. And working with the eyes open, meditating with the eyes open in many traditions is seen as quite an advanced practice. And the idea, one of the ideas being is that, of course, we get so much sensory information through the eyes that just closing the eyes, you're blocking a lot of that out, so you can pay more attention to your internal senses and stop paying attention to the outside world so much. Well, yes, it's true that it is an advanced practice, but also these practices were created centuries, millennia ago, when we didn't have computers, we didn't have mobile phones, we didn't have social media, and basically we weren't spending so much of our time with our eyes open and stimulated for most of the day. Most people are using their phones a lot of the time and into the night as well. We don't live by the circadian rhythms, we don't go to sleep when the sun goes down, we're constantly stimulated. So I actually think that there's a really good argument for working with doing meditation with the eyes open. Okay, I really do. And that's what we're going to work on. That's what we're going to work on first. So I've admitted the people that I think I've needed to admit on this, and we're all good on Instagram. So with the eyes, the way that we've evolved is to have eyes obviously at the front of our head, not like fish or other animals that get preyed upon by predators. We're predators. We evolved that way, and when it's really a piece of, the eyes are just the most extraordinary design, and how they work and how they interact with the brain, but there are some peculiarities with this. There are some. So by point focusing all the time with your eyes, your brain is constantly making decisions about things. It's constantly making a decision whether yes, no, or you're indifferent. And because we're on mobile phones all the time, we are constantly being bombarded and constantly having to make decisions with our brains subconsciously. And so what I want to practice now is a way of, it's not really defocusing your eyes, but it's a way that, it's the difference between, if you're looking at a beautiful view, if you're looking at a panorama, a beautiful vista, it could be a beautiful beach or a beautiful landscape, whatever it is that, if you go on holiday and you sit down somewhere and you take it all in. Actually, one of the things you do is your peripheral vision, so the edge of your vision, it opens up so you can take in everything. You're not trying to point focus and look at all the different elements and all the different details. There is the peripheral vision opens up and you take in the vista. And if you actually notice the effect that this has on the brain, it has a very calming effect on the brain, because the brain is just absorbing and looking at a beautiful natural landscape. So we're gonna try and recreate that. It's very different from, say, if you're point focused, and if you're arguing with somebody, you're point focusing. They're 2 meters in front of you. The more you're arguing, the more heated it gets. The more you're focusing on them, and the more that ramps up the tension in the argument. So here is the trick. Here is the trick to put you more into this state of looking at a beautiful landscape or a beautiful vista. Okay, so what I want you to do is to sit with your back straight. Now, if you want, you can sit on the floor, cross-legged, or you can sit in a chair. The important thing is that you keep your back straight. That's really the important thing. Your spine is straight, and you can rest your hands on your knees or on your lap as you like. But what I want you to do is, I want you to look about 2 meters away from you. the length of your arm is about 1 meter. So think about twice the length of your arm. And I want you to rest your awareness, focus about 2 meters away on a point. Now it could be in space, it could be on a wall, whatever it is, but about 2 meters away, focus on this point. And this is point focus, of course. But now what I want you to do is, and it helps sometimes, take a couple of deep breaths, exhale, keep looking at this point about 2 meters away. Exhale, and what I want you to do is to release your focus on this point that's 2 meters away. Now, how do you do that? You do that by relaxing your eyes. You relax your eyes and relax around your eyes. And if you start to get this, the center, this point that's 2 meters away, it'll begin to go a bit fuzzy. Your brain will try and figure out what you're trying to do. But hopefully when you get this, if you relax this central point about 2 meters away, the peripheral vision, the sides of your vision, what you can see out to the sides, will begin to open up and begin to come into focus. So, keep your back straight. Relax your eyes. You don't want to bug your eyes out. Let them, they can be half closed a bit if you like, but focus 2 meters away. And then relax that focus. Relax the muscles in your face. And relax the focus of your eyes so that your peripheral vision begins to open up. Now, as you do this, your brain is going to try and figure out what it is you're trying to do. Because it's trying to work out, oh, you don't want me to make a decision about something. Okay. And you want this to happen. You want the brain to go through a struggle. But keep relaxing. So that there's the only place that this brain and the eyes that are struggling to work out what to do, the only place they can go is to relax and drop into a space. Relax into this space. Allow your peripheral vision to open up so that the sides, the edges of your vision begin to focus like the center. Eventually, when you get this, the peripheral vision and the center, it's almost like it's the same focus. Now notice what's happening to your mind while you're trying to do this. Hopefully, you should find that your thoughts stop. Your thoughts stop moving so quickly because your brain is trying to figure something out and it's moving into a different gear. So when the thoughts come, don't pay any attention to them. You know, if you don't want to be controlled by your thoughts and the stories that are basically connected thoughts, don't pay attention to them. Don't follow them. So while you're looking here 2 meters away, releasing, opening your peripheral vision, if any thoughts come up, just watch them. Don't feed them, don't follow them, don't connect them together and turn them into stories. If you notice, one thought it comes up, Oh, don't pay any attention to it. Don't give it any energy. Don't feed it. Oh, and it's gone. It dissolves again. Keep relaxing into this space. Let go with your mind. Let go with your eyes. And just like if you're looking at a beautiful landscape and you see passing clouds, these are like your thoughts. It's just a passing cloud, it'll dissolve, it's not made of anything, it's not made of any substance. So we move into an observer protocol. We're observing while keeping our eyes open. Now, if you've been on your phone a lot, scrolling a lot, and you're kind of caught in that doom scrolling loop, or you're just, exactly that, flicking, just see if you can take your gaze from looking right at your phone and just lift it above your phone, and just for 30 seconds try and do this. So you're on your phone, flick, lift your eyes up, look about 2 meters away, focus 2 meters away, and then release and let that focus go. And let the peripheral vision come into focus. Just do that for 30 seconds. If you're caught in a loop on a phone, it's really, really handy. It can help you get out of a negative loop or a negative spiral. So keep letting go into this space. The thoughts come up, don't pay any attention to them. Don't feed them. You can pick it up later. You can get worried later about things. But for this moment, don't feed them. Don't engage with them. Don't pay attention to the thoughts. The thoughts are moving. So if the thoughts are moving, and there are other things that are moving, your feelings are moving. If you're sat on your chair, maybe your body's feeling a bit numb. Maybe you've got pain somewhere, a feeling. This will change. It moves. So your thoughts move. Now when you're doing meditation, it's one of the first things that you notice. You sit there, you're asked to follow a certain set of instructions like I've been giving you, and boom, there's these thoughts. There's this movement. Don't identify with the moving. One of my teachers put it beautifully, actually, in a meditation session. She said, your whole life you have spent chasing after, like a dog chasing its tail, chasing after all the moving, chasing after the thoughts, investing in the thoughts. Those thoughts connect together into stories, and those stories become actions. If you act on those stories, if you act on your beliefs, now of course sometimes it's important to act, you have to act, but a lot of the time we don't need to. We actually just need to observe and stop creating more stories. So don't pay attention to the moving, to the thoughts. Find the stillness. Find the background awareness where these thoughts and this movement plays out on, like a giant canvas, a blank canvas. Keep releasing your eyes. Now, if you want to practice this, first of all, don't practice this if you're driving or if you're operating any dangerous machinery. It's not a good idea. You need to be focused on what you're doing. But if you find some sense of peace with this, if it resonates with you, then sitting in the morning, 10 minutes, 15 minutes is enough. Again, sit with the spine straight, look 2 meters away, find the focus, open up the peripheral vision. Don't chase the moving. Don't be like the dog chasing its tail. The thoughts of the movement, the feelings of the movement, the stories, the sensations, these are all moving. Well, what isn't moving? That which is observing the movement. So abide there. So keep releasing your eyes, opening up your peripheral vision. And get a sense of space. Now, all around us there's space around us, and in some traditions they talk about space inside the body itself. Now, of course, there is literal space. There are cavities. There's your lungs where there is space, of course. But I'm not referring to this space. I'm referring to something more esoteric than that. I'm referring to the space that is connected to the space that is outside of you. So this might sound a bit strange, but can you feel or get a sense of the space around you? Notice the solidity of your body, your legs, your arms. If you have discomfort, it's very easy because you feel something solid. But juxtapose that with the space around you, the space in the room around you. Find this contrast between the space around you and see if you can find this sense of space inside you. And I'll give you a clue. You're not going to do it by scrunching up your face, by contracting, by doing anything like that. To find the space, find the internal space, you have to relax. And if you're doing this with your eyes open, relax your eyes, relax behind your eyes. Notice the space. Feel the space inside you. Where does it feel contracted? Where in your body do you feel tense, tight, contracted, something that doesn't feel quite right? Is it in your feet? Is it in your back? Where is it? For a moment now, we're going to move into we've just done the open eye meditation, and now we're going to move more into this body awareness meditation. So hopefully with the eye open meditation, you've got a sense of the mind opening, the thoughts calming down, or at least being able to observe them and not getting so caught up in the stories. Well, now what I want you to do is to change. I want you to close your eyes now. But as you close your eyes, pay particular attention as you close your eyes what happens to your mind. If you've been doing the first part of this practice with the eyes open, hopefully you should feel calm. When you close your eyes, take that calmness with you. So, sitting with the spine straight, close your eyes and notice where you feel any tension or contraction in your body. Start at the top. Do you feel any contraction, tension, anything that doesn't feel quite right in your head, on your scalp, on your face and your eyes? Any kind of contraction, any kind of tension. If you feel something that's contracted or tense in your head, your face, anything like that, then allow your awareness to move to this area. And let it surround this area that feels contracted, bound up. It will actually have a shape to it. See if you can wrap your feeling awareness around the contraction, around the tightness in that part of your head or face. Now, if you can't feel anything or you don't feel any contraction, well, that's great. But I'll give you some clues where we hold tension around the eyes and in our jaw. We hold a lot of tension in the jaw. At night, there's, people grind their teeth. I did it years ago, actually, when I was doing my exams for something, and I remember grinding them a lot at night, waking up. So bring your awareness to your jaw, the left side of your jaw where the hinge is, and then the right side of the jaw. And if you notice any tension there, bring your awareness there. And allow your awareness, your feeling, to wrap around this sense, this contraction, and allow your mind, your feeling awareness, to absorb into this area that feels tight, that feels contracted. Like water going into dry sand or into a sponge, a dry sponge. You notice that something doesn't feel right, it feels contracted, it feels strange. Bring your awareness to it and then feel the edges of this blockage, to use a Chinese term. Feel around the edges of this blockage, this contraction, or the left part of your jaw or the right part of the jaw, whatever feels contracted. And as you feel around, now it might be quite small. Don't go for anything too small if you're new to this. Pick some of the bigger areas in your body. We're going to move down through the body as well, so don't worry. We're going to go into the torso soon, but staying with this contracted area, allow your awareness to wrap around it and let it soak in. The metaphor that is often used is ice, as in an ice cube, or an ice to water. The releasing of the tension and the contraction has a melting quality to it. So keep your mind, if your mind drifts off, just don't give yourself a hard time, just bring it back to this area that you're working on. It might be the size of You know, a coin, it might be a bit bigger than that. It could be a bit smaller, but stay with it and keep your awareness on the edges of this tense blockage, and stay with it. Keep melting, keep releasing and melting the tension away. Okay, good. So we're going to keep moving down now. So feel any tension in your neck, front of your neck, the sides of your neck, the back of your neck. Now, if you've been on your computer a lot or whatever it is, you've probably got some pain in your neck. So feel this area that feels tense. It's going to be obvious to feel, because unless you've hurt your neck very, very badly, most of your neck will feel okay, but there'll be a part that's really kind of screaming out, that feels tense, that feels contracted, that doesn't feel quite right. Allow your awareness, your mind, to move to this area. And be curious, what does this contraction feel like? What shape does it have? And explore around the edges of this blockage. In your neck, could be the front, the back, the sides of the neck, wherever it is. Feel around the edges of it. And as you do this, you don't need to force this. Just by bringing your awareness to the contracted area, the blockage, it should automatically begin melting and releasing and letting go. You don't want to push or force this. There's a Chinese term called Wu Wei, and it's translated, I like doing, not doing. And this is very much the approach that you need, actually, with most meditation techniques, I would say. So if you try to force something, the mind has a tendency to push back. Now, I'm not talking about if you have to do something very important, you know, like you've got a job interview or you've got an exam or something like this. But you don't want to, with meditation, push too much. So when you feel this area that's contracted in the neck, be gentle, be light with your feeling, with your awareness. Don't try, right, I'm going to dissolve, I'm going to push through this. No. You don't want to cultivate that approach, because it actually builds tension. There's a paradox with meditation, which is that if the lighter your approach with it, and what I mean by that, it's like, I'm not going to do this because it's not the time, but if I was to ask you to start doing arithmetic, you know, unless you're very good at maths, and start getting, you know, long division and all the rest of it, sooner or later you're going to start noticing your brain shift into a different state, and you're going to start getting stressed. And I'll say, right, I want you to solve this equation and apply pressure. Now, sometimes you need to do that, of course, you know, and in competitive sports you need to do that. We are not looking to do that here. We want to relax, be curious about what we feel that is contracted. And if we are curious and playful with it, these contractions tend to release a lot quicker than if you push. Good. So let's move down now. So feeling down our awareness into the tops of our shoulders. And again, we hold quite a lot of tension in our shoulders. So feel your left shoulder, top of your left shoulder. If you have problems feeling, you can tap it a bit with your finger. If you know, some people, it's very difficult to feel your body. Collarbones are particularly tricky to feel, unless you break one, of course. So if you have some problems, you can tap these areas. It stimulates the nerves, and it says to your mind, your feeling awareness, this is where I want you to pay attention. So, tap your left shoulder. Feel the left shoulder. Move down from where it meets the neck towards where the end of your collarbone is, where the top of the arm is. Just move your awareness. Explore, be curious down. And If you feel any contraction, if you feel any tension, allow your awareness to zone in on that area and then feel around. Does it have a shape, this contraction? Now, if you've been working in the garden today in the springtime using a shovel, then it might be your shoulders feel, the whole thing feels super contracted. So just feel the whole, all of the sheets of the tissue here, and feel them. Go, yeah, that was great doing all the gardening today, my shoulder's a bit sore. Just bring your awareness into it and have a sense of letting go of the contraction in your shoulder. And we do the same for the right. Tap the right one. Feel the right shoulder. Which parts feel contracted? Okay, it's that part that feels contracted. Okay, so what am I going to do? I'm going to increase my awareness in this area. And be curious about it. Well, what is that actually? It's funny. What is that? Right, okay. I mean, obviously, you're not having this internal dialogue. It's just for effect, really, what I'm trying to do. But you feel around the area. And as you do, your awareness in your mind softens the edge of this blockage, contraction, the ice, the dry sand, whatever analogy works for you, and your mind, which is the water, penetrates gently and softly into the blockage. And as it does, it releases. Let's move down our chest. So down across the pectoral muscles, down this whole area here, down towards the solar plexus, the chest. Feel down the chest. If you struggle, feel your t-shirt on your chest. If you need to, you can tap a little bit. If your sensitivity is good and you can feel the skin, you can feel some of the muscle in the chest, then bring your awareness, scan these areas. Now you might have obvious contraction, or there might be a bit, it's like, oh yeah, there's something there that feels contracted, that feels tight. Bring your awareness. Start with the gross things, the large things, and then get more subtle. Be curious. What is that contracted thing? Find, does it have a shape to it? I'm not talking about a triangle. It's probably not going to be a platonic, geometric, perfect shape. It's going to be some kind of weird, organic sort of form. So find the edges of that. Feel the edges. Allow your mind to wrap around the area, the edges of this blockage. So what feels contracted, doesn't feel quite right? It could be an old injury, it could be something you're not aware of, but it's a contracted feeling, a tight feeling. Be curious about it. Feel the edges of this contraction. And soften your mind, soften your awareness, and allow your mind, your feeling awareness to melt this blockage. And the analogy is often that it's ice. So ice melts to water without forcing it. And this is the trick. The Wu Wei, this is this Chinese expression, a Taoist expression, to do not doing. So that's why I recommend cultivating this sense of curiosity. Not, oh, I know what that blockage is, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to dissolve that, everything's going to be great. That ain't the attitude for this. That might work in the workplace, but it doesn't work with meditation. You have to be light. There has to be a playfulness with it. Think about the way children play. They're joyful. We don't want to be too heavy with our meditation because it has a tendency to push back. Good. So let's continue moving our awareness now down the torso. So from the solar plexus down into the abdomen, sides of the ribs, the belly, all the way down to the belly button. Now there's lots of stuff in here. You've got your organs, you've got your ribs, you've got all kinds of things. So feel down from the solar plexus, underneath your chest, the ribs on the side. Now again, if you struggle to feel, just tap a bit with your fingers. If you've had a busy day, you've been on the computer, you're really in your head, and you're struggling to feel your body, tap. Wake up the nerves a little bit. Good. And then from there, feel down. So feel down from the solar plexus, down underneath the chest, a bit like a sheet of water going down. Like if you were coming out of a swimming pool and the water was running down here, this water running down is your mind, is your feeling awareness. So you're going to feel a little bit across here, be curious. Feel a little bit across on the other side, then feel down. Centimeter by centimeter. Just feel down, staying in the layer of the skin until you notice something that doesn't feel right, something that feels contracted, something that feels not right. And by the very fact that you are noticing that, it will automatically begin drawing your awareness to this area. Now, it could be that this blockage, this contraction, you've done one too many stomach crunches, or you've turned awkwardly, or something that it could be this. But as you get more experienced with this practice, it becomes subtler and subtler and subtler, and it's not just physical contractions that you feel. You realize that there is something else that is behind, that is contracted. And I'm not going to put ideas in your head about as to what that might be. But the Chinese, they're very clear. They say that the body stores trauma. It stores trauma. In fact, it stores almost everything in the body. So if it's not a physical thing from injuring yourself, over time you will realize, as you release these things, as you release these blockages, as you move down the body, you will often find emotional releases coming up as well. You don't need to go looking for them, but often when you release something in the body, the whole system is connected up. And this is very clear in the Asian traditions. Everything is connected. The whole mind, body, energy system, whatever they're talking about with modern science now, the whole thing is connected up. So anyway, we drifted into theory again. Feel down the abdomen, feel down to your belly button, find an area that feels contracted, start with the big gross areas, and be curious and explore and feel the edges of this contraction, of this blockage. How big is it? Is it a few centimeters across? Is it a centimeter across? What kind of weird shape is this contraction, is this blockage? Now, as you get more experienced, your sensitivity gets much, much better. And what starts as big gross sensations, a few centimeters across, eventually it's like they're microns across. And that's no exaggeration. And there are blockages that are microns across, and when you release those, it can get very interesting. So, feel around the blockage and allow your awareness, without forcing, to absorb into the edges of the contracted form. And as it does, without forcing, it begins to lose its cohesion. It begins to lose the boundaries. Ice turns to water. Cool. Now, I should add, you're not going to get... it's great if you can get a release on by spending, a few minutes like we have on a blockage. And if it's just something physical from the day, say you've pulled something, or you've, done something, or you've tripped over, or whatever it might be, or it could even be some emotional stuff. You had an argument with somebody. This kind of surface releasing is very, very good for dealing with that. But as I said, when you get more advanced, it it becomes more and more subtle. Good. So I don't want to spend too much. Now, what are we at? 10 past 8. We've got another 20 minutes. Okay, great. So let's feel down the back so that we're not unbalanced. So feel C7, the big vertebrae, cervical 7, which is just below your neck, where your neck meets your back. So you can give that a little tap. Feel this area. And then spread your awareness, your feeling awareness, your mind, feel either side from C7 across the top of your back of your shoulders. And as you feel, again, notice what is contracted, what doesn't feel right. Spread your awareness down your shoulder blades, down the left shoulder blade, down the right shoulder blade. The same thing. What doesn't feel quite right? What feels tense? What feels contracted? Notice that when you are drawn to one of these blockages, is your mind tightening up? Are you beginning to feel emotional for any reason? Is there a weird mood coming on? All of these can be symptoms that are connected with the blockage. So try not to get pulled into the contraction and let the blockage contract you. Feel the blockage if it's somewhere on your right shoulder or down at the bottom of the left shoulder blade. Feel the blockage, but don't allow the blockage to... It's okay to observe if there's something moving through you, but relax your eyes, release, find the edges of the blockage, feel around, be curious, and then allow your feeling awareness to absorb into the boundaries of the blockage. Ice to water. Let it melt, let it release. As it melts and it releases, allow this, if you get a good sense of release, it really does feel like something solid, something like ice is turning to liquid. And allow that just with gravity to sink down the back, sink down the body. Good, so we move down into the middle part of the back, below the shoulder blades. Now again, it's quite tricky to feel the back, which is why I started on the front. We're used to feeling the front of our body more than our back. But feel down below, either side of the spine. Feel the spine as well. We're not going to work on the spine this evening, but be aware of it. A large part of Chinese Taoist meditation, also many of the Buddhist traditions as well, is to put the mind in the body, to saturate or soak the mind in the body. There is a wisdom in the body. There is a wisdom that if you are quiet, curious, and pay attention to what the body is trying to tell you, it's very wise. The mind can overrule the body. It can overrule the body so much that it can extinguish your life. You can destroy your body, which is quite strange when you think about it. So, and the mind can do that for all kinds of stories and reasons. It can justify the most atrocious things. The body doesn't lie the way the mind does. If you pay attention to the body, pay attention to what you can feel in the body, it can often give you early warning signals for something that could about to go really wrong, some kind of chronic illness. If you can feel and get this sensitivity to feel inside the body, often you can spot things before they get out of hand, I think is probably a good way to put it. So, feeling down, Continue moving your awareness down into your lower back. Just staying in the surface of the skin, maybe a little bit below the skin. And any blockages, allow your awareness to zone in on the blockage, wrap your awareness around it, ice to water. Now, of course, if you begin thinking, if you get distracted, don't give yourself a hard time. Just bring your awareness back to the blockage that you're working on. And if you really get lost, you have to start again from the crown of the head. Where is the blockages in the head, and move down through the body. It's recommended that if you do this practice, you work from the crown of the head down to the soles of the feet. So we've only really just done the head and the front part of the torso on the back. But I just want to finish, because we've got about just over 10 minutes left. So we started with the open-eyed meditation, and then we transited into feeling into the body and putting the mind in the body. Hopefully you feel less in your head. You feel less, caught up in your thoughts and caught up with the busyness of the day. So to finish with, what I want you to do is I just want to work on some breath work at the very, very end to sort of finish this out. So, but everything that we've worked on, the open-eyed meditation, bringing the awareness into the body, maintain this quality. And as we've felt now some of the body, we've felt some of the torso, I want you to pay attention now to your breathing. To begin with, don't try to change it. Is it shallow? Is it long, the breath? Is it fast? Is it fluttering? Just observe it. Are you breathing through your mouth? Are you breathing through your nose? Are you breathing through? Just observe it. And now what I want you to do is to pay attention to the changeover between the inhale and the exhale. So no matter what's happening with your breath, there's a changeover between the inhale and the exhale and the exhale and the inhale. Observe this changeover. Now, we want this to become smooth, this changeover. Often the changeover is very juddery, flickery, not smooth. We want the changeover to be smooth. So pay attention to this changeover, and what I want you to do is to increase the time of this changeover from the inhale to the exhale and the exhale to the inhale. So as opposed to trying to work on extending the inhale or the exhale, it's the changeover point. So when you're breathing in, you're beginning to exhale, extend that exchange, that changeover moment, like a relay race that suddenly gets put into slow motion. The baton passed from the inhale to the exhale happens in slow motion. And as it slows, it lengthens this inhale and this exhale. Now, if you're not already breathing with your diaphragm, with your stomach, You can place a hand, if you know how to breathe from your diaphragm, now is the time to breathe from your diaphragm. If you don't know how to, then place your hand underneath your solar plexus, which is the soft bit under the ribs. And when you inhale, this hand should expand out a little bit away. And when you exhale, this hand is going to move in towards the body. Keep paying attention to the changeover point from inhale to exhale. Let go of any tension, contraction, any kind of weirdness around that changeover. Just see if you can soften it and smooth it and make it longer. So this inhale changing into the exhale. You lengthen this. And think of the Tai Chi symbol, the yin-yang symbol with the black and the white and the two dots. This is actually a good analogy for this changeover from the inhale to the exhale. There's no stopping and starting. They blend into each other, blending in. The inhale blends into the exhale blends into the inhale. Much like the waves on the sea, on a calm sea, if you're sat by a beach, there's no stopping or starting with the waves. They blend into each other. The wave, the inhale, washing against the shore, blends into the next wave. This is what you want. And to release any tension during this crossover. It's very important. And if you get it, it should really calm your nervous system. So now on your inhale, see, because we've paid attention to the changeover, we've increased the time, I want you to allow the inhale of the breath, the inhale to naturally lengthen. So if you're breathing in 1, 2 seconds maybe, see if you can gently increase it to, when you inhale, to 3 or 4 seconds. So inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, change over. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, change over. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're going to now lengthen the inhale and lengthen the exhale so they're balanced. So they're 3, 4 seconds. If you can go a bit longer without straining, go for it. It's great. You can do 5 seconds without straining, not like... if by extending the inhale or the exhale, it disturbs the transition of inhale to exhale, then you're pushing. You're going too far. The inhale wants to naturally lengthen. As it does, more of your diaphragm is going to expand. More of your belly is going to expand, also to the sides. And then as you exhale, lengthen the breath also. But the real take-home message for this breathing session at the end of this class tonight is to watch the inhale and exhale changeover and make that really smooth. If you're having an emotional freak out, actually my recommendation is, if you are having a really difficult time, the first thing is, don't try and control the breath. If you're having one of those, you're having a difficult time, let's just say that. You've had you're breaking up with somebody, or somebody's died, or whatever it is. Don't try to control the breathing at the beginning. It's very important to allow the body to spontaneously and naturally process the emotion in the moment that it needs to do. Okay, and if it's a heavy thing that's happened, don't try and control it in that first period. Okay, the moment you've heard the shocking news, just allow the body and the breath to do what it needs to do. There is a bit of a danger that if you try and control the breathing at the point of hearing the traumatic news, whatever that might be, it can affect the way that the body processes the trauma, the emotion, and it can actually lock it into your system, which then creates problems later on. So in the moment of something awful happening, just allow the breath and allow the emotions to process as they do. But when that wave has calmed down, or when those waves have calmed down, or it's in the night time and you need to sleep and you're upset, and you can't cry anymore, you've been upset, then work on this breathing and this changeover. Don't do it at the point if you're having a really emotionally difficult time. It can suppress what needs to be processed naturally by the body. But when you've got over the initial thing and you need to sleep, I found when I've had really difficult times, it's actually the breathing, this breath work really, really, really helps take the sting out of things. If you're waking up at 3-4 in the morning and you can't get back to sleep and you've got racing thoughts, you can try different techniques. I find the breathing very, very good. It works very well for me. That then creates a buffer that I can then take into the meditation. So just to finish up, we've got a couple of minutes left. Open eye meditation, spine straight, look about 2 meters away, or if you're on your mobile phone and you're doom scrolling, shift your mind up, look 2 meters away, focus on a point 2 meters away, and then relax the focus so the peripheral vision opens up. Relax the focus, allow the peripheral vision to open up. Good. When you've got the mind calm, if the thoughts are coming, just let them do their thing. Don't pay attention to them. Don't go chasing the tail like the dog. Then you can, if that works for you, work with that one. If you feel like you need to work more on putting the mind in the body, getting out of your head, feeling the different parts of the body and releasing them, and starting from the crown of the head and moving down, letting go of any tensions you feel. And then there's the breathing, paying attention to this changeover between the inhale and the exhale. It's really, really gold, that one, for getting you to calm down and soothe your nervous system. Okay, I think that's enough for tonight. We've been an hour. Thanks for joining me. And if you've got any questions, you can send me a message. It's been a little while since I've done one of these, so I'll do another one sooner. And I hope you're all having a lovely spring. And see you at the next one.